We're back on the driving on for Christmas quilt again. We're doing the car, the bottom car, the bottom car. Anyway, I'll show you. We're doing that one. Okay, okay. I've decided to do my background in three different colours. So one of them I've got this Michael Miller Fairy Frost glittery white on silver and white. So I've carried that through with trees as well. I've got a night scene. I think this is Michael Miller. I can't remember, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's like a night scene with glitter on. So if you've noticed on these ones, I've not done the background quilting. It's up to you. But I'm not fussy anyway, but you can see some puckering because I haven't done the quilting. So it is up to you. Um, and the other ones I've done background is another Michael Miller Fairy Frost, but it's not glittery, this one. It's more like a luster. I've done background quilting on that and then not on that one. So you can please pick and choose how you do these. So this is the bottom of the car that I'm doing now. So obviously I've got me poly mesh, no show mesh. Got me wadding and we're going to go to embroidery. So obviously I've already set my design. So, oh, excuse me, hay fever season again, as you know. So my first thing, I'm at a different angle on my camera so you can't see it. Anyway, we're doing step one, which is the tack down stitch of the wadding, batting if you're not in UK. So this is the tack down stitch. So what you do then, you will trim this and then the number 2 step is the fabric. So as you can see, it's tacking it down and my needle's dragged up. I must need a new needle. Anyway, so I'm going to stop it there just for the time being. I'll pick it up when I've changed my needle and everything. So this is your tack down stitch and I'm going to trim round it. I'll put me back on. So if that happens to you, I don't know how confident and how experienced embroiderers we've got on here. So obviously it's stopped there. I need to take it back to there. So all machines will be different, but the other machines are very similar. So if you go into your, let me go into that and I'll show you what I've done. So if you go into your stitch thing here, I hope you can see that, which is forward and back on mine. And then I'm going to take it back. Let's try 10, 20, 30. So now it should pick up where I left off. Well, it will if I 3-thread my needle. Always helps that, doesn't it? So that now is just taking it down again. So there you go. So I'm going to just trim round here when it's finished. I'm going to go to step 2, which is the tack down of the fabric. This is step 2. I'm just tacking down the background fabric, as you can see. I'm pulling it down like this because you know I've said before that preparation and you're supposed to iron it. Well, I haven't. So I'm holding camera with other hand. So needless to say, I'm having to pull it to get rid of the creases in fabric. So yeah, starch and press your fabric. So it's just jumping there because on other video I said I'm going to change my needle and I didn't. On other picture I set beginning bit. So I am going to change my needle because obviously that's a problem. So yeah, it's going to sew all the way around um, on here and then I'm going to trim that bit off because that bit is where the grey bit's going to go. You're going to leave all this on because you need a 1/2 inch seam allowance to join it together. So in typical Cheryl style, the number 2 was the placement stitch for number 3. So I've skipped um, step 3 now because I've already done it. So your number 2 is your placement stitch, but I don't need a placement stitch. I know where it's going to go. So your number 3 is the stitch. So now number 4. So number 4 is going to be the little bubbles, the quilting. And that's going to take 4 minutes. So you don't want to sit and watch that for 4 minutes. So I'm going to do quilting on this one. So your little bubble round, your quilting round pattern. So that's your step 4. We are on step 5, which is a line on this screen. So it's going across here to put your bottom bit on. So obviously you'll not be wasting fabric like me. You'll have measured your fabric. I just cut mine randomly because my waist is on. So yeah, this is step 5. I'm sorry if camera jerks because it is attached to my table. I'm just trying on it for you. Right. So step 6 is going to be holding it down there. Sure is. So fold that back. I mean, you can finger press it. Oh, look at that, who knew? Yeah, and then your step 6 out of 35. Didn't see that. Right. Is tacking the bottom bit down. So that's all your background on now. So we're on to step 7, which you're going to start putting your parcels on. Right, let me get my phone and I'll just let's see. Just to be aware on this, it's a joined up design. Somebody asked if you can do it on your in your software and manipulate it. Possibly, but it's above my pay grade. That I ain't got a clue. But if you look at this, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see it. This is where the seam is, right? So you're going to have a raw edge. I don't know anyway. I'm not a digitizer. I can't be messing about in software. I suppose it could be done to make it one long piece. I'm doing it by book. So if you look on here, you can see now the next bit is the top bit it's showing me to do. So it's this bit here, this bit of blue parcel here. Be aware you're going to need some more fabric to join it up here. And it's same with this one, look. That's your red bit there. And then it follows it on here. And this bit does as well, but that's more obvious. For these two, just make sure you use the same fabric. Otherwise it's going to look daft, really. So yeah, so the next one is going to be the placement stitch. Now I've got white in at the minute. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sniffling. Right, I've got white in. I'm going to change from white because I can't see it. You're putting stuff down. So just to be aware of that. What colour should I put in? You know what? I'll put pale pink in. These are sweet pea threads again in credit threads. Um, you've got to ignore the state of my desk. But I don't know if you can just see there. I've got them all there. So I've left them in boxes because if I'm taking them anywhere, they're not going to shake around. They're not going to whittle around. So I've left them in boxes. Plus the fact as well, I know which class they've come from, if you like, because they've got different ones, different boxes. Like you've got your greens, you've got your blues, you've got your brights, etc. So it's like my fingers bleeding. Right. So we're going to thread that up in a different colour so I can see it. So your step 7 is going to be your placement, your placement stitch for your little bit of a parcel. See? So I'm assuming then other step is going to be um what parcel's going to be. Should we do it glittery pink? Uh, yeah, why not? I've got a bit of vinyl here. Trouble is though, when you're using vinyl, just be aware it's not going to sit nice in the seam. But, well, it's only thin vinyl this one. So this is step 8. So we're going to go all the way along with doing this. I'm not going to do every single step because I think it's going to bore people. You know what you're doing. Because then, obviously, what I need to do then is um, cut around that, trim around that. So let's take it off now. Obviously, you leave it in the hoop. And I think I'm going to leave some at top as well on this. I'll see. I better have to leave it to begin with and then see from there, see if it's not going to affect it. And if so, I'll cut it off. Sorry, I'll cut it off if it's not going to affect it. But best to leave it. If I'm just looking at next bit, it's satins. Oh, right. So I might as well leave pink in then. Yeah, so it's going to do now. Tell you. Doing a tutorial, I ain't going to clue myself, have I? Would help if I use instructions. But next one's going to be the satin stitch here to seal this edge. So that is your step 9. So we'll carry on with this because it's only going to be a short thing. So your step 9 is a satin stitch. And then see, sealing that end, sealing the row edge. And then it goes on to your step 10, which is going to be the other parcel this side, that again, that's going to edge. So that is a placement line it's going to show you. See, I said I weren't going to show all this, but and then this is going to be yeah, that's good to go over there. You tack down. If I read instructions, it might tell me to cut that off. It's in seam allowance. I don't know because in typical Cheryl fashion, I've not read instructions. Very naughty of me, isn't it? So yeah, if you've got any sense, you will read the instructions, possibly print them off. Um, as you can see, I haven't. So I've trimmed round it. I'm going to change my thread to something nice and blue. Pale blue, dark blue. No, we'll go pale blue. Again, sweet pea thread. I've changed all my threads to sweet pea. I do use other threads when I'm out and about, um, glasses and stuff. But here, I'm using sweet pea threads. Well worth money as well because sweet pea threads, the sewing threads as well as embroidery threads. So you don't need all different colours when you're doing the bits and pieces and sewing. So now we're going to do the tack down stitch, sorry, the placement stitch. So that is step 13 for the parcel in the middle. Now, Sweet Pea on their pictures got cork. So, here's me showing my age now. In true Blue Peter fashion, here's some I prepared earlier. And guess what? It's Sweet Pea cork. Ta-da! It says so on the back. Good cork, this. It's nice. All their vinyls are nice. And corks. So, I'm going to do it directional because it's got a little thing across. So, again, oh, excuse me. This is the, what's it? Tack down. I'm almost certain you do cut these off, but that will come up in the video when we're putting them together. So if you've done this piece, by all means, put in comments what you've done. It'll help others then, I suppose. But I'm going to do all preparation for the blocks, fastening them together lastly. I'm not doing them bit by bit. I don't know. Obviously, car's going to go together top and bottom, how it is. Ooh, let's have a. What colour red shall I use for this? Oh no. What colour? Oh, do you know? Mm, right, pink. Not using beige, it's a Christmas present. I'll do bright pink. Excuse my hand when you when I'm threading. You know, on Avenir, so Brother Avenir, it's got a longer bit here for the bigger projector. And I was demoing a machine the other day and I forgot because obviously our cutter, well, not obviously, but I'll tell you, the cutter for this one is somewhere, I don't even know where it is, it's at the back here. Yeah, it's here, but right at the back here. Whereas on your machines, smaller machines, it's probably at the side. And I'm that used to taking it to the back that I was doing a demo on, I don't know if it was a V3, I can't remember. My cutter felt so daft. So if you are on the fence with the Avenir or you think that's going to put you off, it's not, you get used to it. So something to watch if you are getting an Avenir, if you've got a, oh, that should have been blue. And that should be pink, looking at that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back and go over it because it's not sealing. It's not sealing that side. It's going to drive me insane. Oh, it's actually on theirs. It's different. Look, on theirs it's a different colour. Let's let me have a look. Uh, right. Oh, it is. That is for that. Yeah, I'm wrong again. And yeah, it is for that. Yeah, it is pink. Why would I? Why would I question how digitizers digitized it? So yeah, we're still on step 15, and this one is called the Bodget. It looks of it, doesn't it? Yeah, I apologise. Yeah, well, I'm gonna take it back forward now from where I should have, where I've gone across to the next bit. Not hard to do, and then go for it. So yeah, if you are on the fence about getting an Avenir because of its little differences, the reason why it does thread like that is because of the projector. It's got a 7x5 image projector on the machine bed, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So now we're on step 16, and this is going to be the parcel that's fully stitched. So I'm definitely not going to bore you showing that. So we're going to do that one, I think. L'orange. Orange. Just nice. Orange. So again, sweet pea. So I'm going to, so step 16, stitch that one. Don't think when you're stitching this one that it's leaving gaps. it goes one way, the understitching, and goes back. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to have to get my Sharpie out here. But no, can you see it's leaving it a nice little pattern? So don't think it's going to leave gaps because it doesn't. Right, we're on to step 17 of 35, which is the placement stitch of another parcel because it is Christmas and we get lots of presents at Christmas. I mean, here in UK, there's no way you would have Christmas presents on top of a car because of the beautiful weather that we have. So, but obviously in Australia, where Sweet Pea are based, Christmas is summer. So they don't have silly weather that we have in UK, which we can have. Here in UK, we like to whinge, we like to moan about quite a bit of things, quite a lot of things. One of them is us ladies queuing in toilets, but we also like to talk about the weather because we can have spring, summer, autumn, winter all in one day. In fact, sometimes we can have it all in 1 hour. So yeah, it's either sun's out and then you look on your weather app because your weather app's your best friend, especially when you're my age, because you like to peg your washing out or peg your washing out, speaking posh. So yeah, so because of that, your weather app's your best friend. And yeah, you can say light rain in the next 20 minutes or for the next 20 minutes. And it can absolutely downpour, which it did last week when I went to London. It absolutely, heavens opened, and I mean opened. It thundered and it lightened. And did it flipping forecast that? Did it? So, right, anyway, I digress. Now we're on step 19. I've just trimmed round there while we were chatting, or while I was chatting, should I say. So I've just threaded machine up for step 19. It's going to sew the bow. So it's got a little bow across that parcel. So that's what it's going to do now. So it's just stitching out step 20 of 35, which is the satin stitch around the parcel that we've just put on. So amazing. I haven't shown you sweet pea threads as well, what they do. They've got this little, you see, lip there. So what you're supposed to do, but me being me, I don't, is wind your thread around that bit there and then push that down and that holds the thread. How fab's that? Anyway, that is stitching. Back to this. Stitching the satin stitch and it's step 20. Step 21. A lot of steps this one. Right. Placement stitch for the tyres. I've just found some nice black glittery vinyl. Oh, I'm hoping I've got enough for all of them, but if not, I'll just change colours. It has to be the same, does it? So yeah, this is the placement stitch, which is step 21 of 35. Some people don't like that noise, that machine, but I do. Oh, I put on local thing. Also got a dream machine, Brother XV, as well as a spare machine to take to classes and things. Um, Turned it on the other day. First time I've used it, because obviously I've not had a dream machine in years. And oh, I forgot a little tune it played. Quite satisfying. It sometimes drags then. I don't know if you can hear it because of me talking. It might not come through, but sometimes your needle drags because it's going through more thicknesses. Um, it's fine, but it might cause you to skip stitches. So if so, change your needle. But I've already changed my needle, so mine's going through fine and not skipping stitches. So that one is the that will let the number 22, which was the tack down stitch. So obviously now the next one is going to be step 23 is going to sew the satin stitch. So I'm going to take this off the machine and trim round, and I'm going to do the satin stitch. Finally, we're doing placement stitch of the car. Now you can see where the car's going to go, but for the film purpose, I will do it. Normally I'd ignore that because I can see where it's going to go. You can see the car's going to go, so I just put my fabric over it. But on this occasion, like I said, I will do it. So this is the placement stitch for the car. So we're on step 24. As you can see, I've already done the satin stitch around the tyres, which was step 23. So I'm doing it red. You do whatever colours you want, but I'm doing mine red. Right. Do. I've still got black in, but I can see to cut round it. I don't know what this red is. I got it from, well, I think it was Birmingham Show, UK. In fact, it was Birmingham. Stitch and shit, stitch and knit show. Nearly swore. So yeah, that was step 26. So now I've got to take it off the machine and trim around. So I shall do that. While I'm trimming, I'll just talk about trimming. Um, Sweet Pea are quite generous with their satin stitch. You see, it's quite a deep satin stitch. So while you have to trim close to the design, you can be a little bit more forgiving with Sweet Pea ones, but some really you can't. You have to get right in there. I use these curved scissors. These ones what I'm used to using. These are Ernest Wright. I've had these a few years. Um, People use those Built Bill ones. I've never been able to get on with them. In fact, I think I gave mine away. I just could not get used to them. But people do. I'm probably using them wrong. Um, but yeah, so you can use any scissors, but obviously you need to get in there closely. Like I said, Sweet Pea are very good with their satin stitch, and you don't have to be that close, she says, leaving a bit of a my shirt. That's going to be wait, number plate, because anyway, it's better. So that is trimming around. So now we're on to step 27 of 35, which is going to be the tack down stitch. So this is for the window. Now I'm thinking this is for Milo. Milo, Milo. Let me just double check. Oh, it could be fabric and Milo. This is where it helps to read instructions. So apologies. So that's going to be. Yeah, right. It is. It's for Milo. So I have got the sweet pea Milo somewhere on my table here. It's just got buried underneath all things. Right, bear with me. In the true process of how professional my videos are. Right, here we are. So sweet pea Milo. Ta-da! Yeah. Blue rainbow iridescent and pink rainbow iridescent. So this is 50 centimetres by 100, 19.5 inches by 39.25 inches. Milo's like a plasticky film type of thing. Show you. So you can see that's like a blue luster to it. And then you've got it's hard to show on camera, the pink. See if we can just unwrap it for you. Good heavens. And it sticks to itself. Right. You see, that's got like a blue. That's a blue sheen to it. Even though it looks pink on that arm, see it's blue. And then this, now you can see the difference. That's pink. So I'm going to go with the blue anyway because I am. I'm trying to wrap pink. You just about into it. Very static, if that's the word. Right, that is the pink. See the difference now? You can see it there that it's pink and blue. Anyway, it is. So do I use blue or do I use pink? I will use the blue. They've all got a pink sheen to them anyway. That's the way it is. So what you need to do with this, if you're going to use Mylar, if not, you can just use fabric at this stage. So do this, I'm going to put it over that. I'm supposed to cut round that window. No, anyway, I'm not doing. Right, what I'm going to do then, I probably wear for a different colour actually, looking at that. I should have put some fabric. No, 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 no. My machine's like a step behind. It's something Avenir does. It doesn't move forward when you move it on until you press OK or thread your needle. So I'm just going to roughly take that away. Well, I could have tore it away, but at this stage I don't want to. So we've got that. And then now to decide. So what happens now is it does stipple over it. So I think I'm going to do that in red. Do it in whatever colour you want. Let's have a look what they've done on their picture myself. Yeah, perhaps I should have cut around that inside. Because if you look on their picture, you've got a different look. I don't know. Yeah, looking at that, probably should have cut round it. So do I cut round it or do I carry on? I'm going to cut round it. So this is where it helps to read your instructions. Apologies for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear, I'm going to tear this off. Not matter. Tear that off, right? I like making these mistakes. I'm making mistakes so you don't. Then Milo sticking to my fingers. I'm going to trim round inside of this, just to trim it red away. So you've got blue through it, or the background through it. Sorry, not blue. Now this is a double cord thing that I've got here. This fabric, so I think this will look better. So trim your window away. Right. Then I'm going to go back to step 28. So back on to step 28. And it's just telling me that it's going to go back to the beginning. Get me Mylar again. Cut a little window out. So get me Mylar again, and then that looks better, yeah. So like I said, I make these mistakes, so you don't need to. But you probably follow the instructions anyway. Right. Now change the thread to something neutral. So, what colour shall I do it? I'm going to do it a very pale blue. Oh, like a, let's see, very pale blue. So now we're on to step 29. So possibly before I do another video, I'm going to bring instructions up and read them. So apologies. I will put it in the comments in the heading on this, so you don't follow the video without knowing my little boo-boos. It'd be catastrophic if you do the same mistakes as me. So they're not mistakes anyway, just crafty hiccups. So this now is sealing the Mylar round, you can see, and then it's going to do a stipple in the middle to hold all this like plasticky stuff down, because you can't put Mylar on without anything holding it, like a grid or something there. But you see that you're going to do a small stipple just to seal that Mylar in. Otherwise, when you wash it or move it, it will puncture through. It needs something to hold it down. And that does look a lot better. So I'm glad I did trim that red away. I've left the Mylar on at the minute because it gives it some more stability even. You know, this bit. I've left that on at the minute. Again, I don't know what instructions tell me to do. Right, now it's going to give me all the way around. So what I'm going to do now, the next step obviously is step 30. I'm going to tear that away because you've got all your stitches holding the edge, so it will tear away without any problems. Let me come back there and see. That does look more like a window than what it would have done with the red. So definitely, definitely it needs trimming away. It's sticking to my fingers again. Right, I'm going to put this step 30. I'm going to leave the same colour in. So I've got my blue in and it's going to go round the edge, the satin stitch, to seal that Mylar. We're on step 31 of 35. It's a long one, this one, isn't it? Plus the fact I've made mistakes. Now, Sweet Pea don't normally assign colours. They've got it as grey. Headlights, I'm doing yellow. No. Mine's yellow, yeah, they can be yellow. Saying grey. Whatever colour you want, but I'm doing mine yellow, bright yellow. So again, Sweet Pea thread. And this is going to take 5 minutes because it's obviously it's going to your headlights and then your side light things. So yeah, step 31, doing the headlights. Nearly finished. We're on step 32. So I've got a nice pale grey for this. This is the grief. It's a new reel. Pale grey, just for the number plate. So step 32. That's before pinging. So it's just going to start stitching the number plate. So just going across here. Step 33. It's just going to stitch out the December 25th. So the numbers on number plate. I threw the black down somewhere. I really do need to get my son's face sorted out. One day. Or perhaps not. Some people like to sew in tidiness. I think I'm not used to sewing in May. Taking on a little else. So December 25th. I mean, if you wanted to, you could omit that, not do that, and put a name on there, make it personalised, just by pressing add, then no sew, or just skipping it and skipping forward and back. So the next step is 34, which is going to be the wreath on the front of the car. So that is step 34, which is going to be the garden wreath, the wreath up front of car. And find a nice deeper green. Yeah, well, it looks black there, but it is, believe me, there you go, green. So lucky last. So the last step is step 35, and it's the bow. Now, as I've got such a bright red, I don't think red's going to show up, so I'm going to do blue. That looks green again. You see, blue. So I'm going to do a blue bow. Like I say, excuse me arm when I'm threading machine. Must be nice to have a professional setup when you do videos. My trouble is kids have left home and I'm useless with tech. So this is step 35 of 35, just doing the bow. All finished. So that's it finished. Right, I'm going to show you something now. This fabric wasn't exactly suitable, what I've used. Can you see? So if you can see in some areas there, it's showing the white. It looks as though it's bobbin thread coming through. It's not. It's showing the white core underneath the fabric. So I don't know what kind of fabric this is. So I wouldn't have thought it's very suitable. So I'll not be using it again for. You see, it's like I don't know what it is. So as machine needles pierced it, it's split. So you can see white core underneath. Now in some cases it doesn't matter, but where you can see. So I'm going to leave it round here, for instance. I'm going to leave that because I don't mind that. But this here, can you see it on camera? Yeah. So I've got a sharper. These are chameleon. They're permanent markers. So I'm just going to go around like that, colouring it in. Because it's around the light, it'll add definition anyway, as long as you don't go into yellow. But at the end of the day, does it matter? Not like I'm selling it. But yeah, that's just going to cover your little white areas in. Can you see now? It's covered it in. A bit more there. Yeah, and then that one's not been done. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that is your first block of your car. Some people are doing them randomly and doing these first. I got rid of boring ones first. So I've done trees. Well, I call them boring. Some people might think they're not. So I've done trees. I've done the houses. And you can do as many as you want with these because you can make it as big or as small as what you want. I'm doing mine as per Sweet Pea's picture. But that is the car panel, first one. And yes, she did need to trim around the inside. That's it with Marlow. Can you see how glittery and shiny it is? So thank you for watching. And I'm sorry it's a long one, but when you make mistakes, you have to rectify them on film, don't you, on camera?